In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to purchase your own domain, how to configure the DNS or domain name server, and link it to your VPS or virtual private server. You can also link it to a shared hosting. Practically, you can buy one domain and have hundreds of applications running on multiple subdomains on different servers, which will mean that you're probably only going to pay $20 a year. So don't go into buying domains for each service unless you need them and are planning to expand massively. If you haven't, please watch my video where I go through the steps of buying and configuring a Linux VPS. It's only 11 minutes. Now let's get started and let's buy a domain. My favorite at the moment is Dynadot, but in the past I've used name.com as a domain provider. I've used many others including HostGate, which I buy some Romanian domains, but they have .com. There's a referral link. And I've also used for some time Namecheap and many others which I forgot. I don't use Namecheap anymore because of their tracking and how slow it is. They have hundreds of trackers on the website. Now, in reality, it doesn't really matter which domain provider you use because as per the icon regulations, you can actually transfer your domains from one provider to another. And I've did this a few times for many domain names. I used around 3 providers at any given time. Right now, I have only 2. I transferred everything I have to Dynadot because it has a lot more domains than availabilities. So let's start by searching. The domain I'm interested in registering right now is fullstackdevops.eu. Let's search for the availability, and it's available. Let's add it to my cart, view cart, and let me go to the checkouts. You could get some add-ons, but to be honest, we're going to host them ourselves, and there are better options for websites, emails, and logos. If you want a static site hosted, or if you want them to provide you with, for example, Dynadot to provide you with a builder or whatever, you can go for it. I usually prefer to host everything myself. The neat thing is, in comparison with others, you can pay even with crypto, Bankwire, whatever you want. So I'm gonna go and continue with, I've just clicked submit order. Let's get started. Click manage domains. Now before we dive in setting up this specific domain, let me show you a few settings. For example, most of my domains have DNS, which is managed by Linode provider. So here I set the name servers, which point DNS server, which actually manages. Usually each provider is a little bit different. So get used to knowing the basics and reusing them. These are all the subdomains which I currently have on this domain. Another option is to have the DNS managed by Dynadot, because each provider would have their own DNS servers. This is the easiest, and we're going to use this one in this example. So let's edit this domain here. I don't want Dynadot parking. I want Dynadot DNS. We're going to select the A record type, which actually means that we need to put an IP version 4 IP address. So for this one, you'll need to go into your VPS. And I'm going to use the Cloudify VPS I own. So you can use this Cloudify link if you want to register. They have pretty neat offers if you want to host things in Eastern Europe. The pricing is okay. I've been using them for a few months, but if you have any workload in Europe, I highly recommend them because if you look at the pricing, you can't beat this anywhere. Now, getting back, this is the IPv4 I'm going to use. So I'm going to click add record, and I'm going to set up the IP6 version, IP version 6. CNAME is actually when you want to point a specific subdomain to an existing subdomain. This is extremely useful when you're using dynamic domains or dynamic DNS. If you have a domain at home and want to use it, you can use this kind of thing. You have MX, which is for mail. You have email. Text ones are mainly used for DKIM and SPK for email verifications, and for example, a cloud provider wants to verify that you actually own this domain. You could use these. you have forwarding, and there are also some extra ones which are not visible here, which you will probably need to set up manually, or some providers give you this option. A very important domain propagation setting is the time to live, which enables caching DNS servers from the moment where someone wants to access that website. So the DNS servers, intermediate DNS servers, cache this, and you have an option between 5 minutes, 8 hours, and actually 48 hours. I usually set this on 1 hour because sometimes I may want to change variety of settings. For example, if I use subdomains, I will probably set up a different subdomain with some settings. And you also have some dynamic DNS. I've used this in the past, but only when I hosted things at home. Right now, my home system already has something set up. So let's save settings. And now I should go to the website and see if it loads. Still hasn't changed the DNS. I want to ping it. Let's ping it. And you can see it hasn't changed at the moment. So don't worry if you can't access it at the moment, because it will be available. So sometimes you need to wait 24 hours or more, or 48 hours for new domains. Sometimes I had luck. I could use them in 10-15 minutes. I forgot to say that if you click this button here, set up DNS, you're going to go to a community question which explains how you can actually set this up. And if you click on each one of these, the A record, CNAME record, you go to a specific page which kind of explains what they are and how they work. You just need to play around with them to get to learn the DNS settings. Domain propagated while I was setting up the subdomain. So we can use the domain right now. This is the default web page, which is as a default on my Caddy setup. Let's now go in the command line and set up this domain to a static page. So go to your terminal and SSH into it. In this moment, you should input a password, but since I have SSH key, I'm going to add it to the SSH agent, and we're going to log in again, and it logs us automatically. Let's set up a simple domain so it gives us automatic SSL by using Caddy. Let's use Caddy. Let's go to the last line. And let's use. So we're going to have a root. This is actually where we're going to share the files from. This is the location, and this will be the file server directive. So Caddy is super simple to set up static sites or whatever you want to set up. This is, for example, the directive which you use to have a reverse proxy if you want to have a PHP server, a Golang server, Python, JavaScript, or whatever server already running, and you're just piping the socket from the local application IP to Caddy to the subdomain. So this is everything you have to do. It's super simple. You don't even need complex software to do this. You can do this in the command line. Just edit a file. If you learn Vim, and you can edit even with Nano or whatever. Super simple to set up. I don't know why people have such a hard time, especially developers, setting such things up. Let's save it. Created the folder. So let's see what's in there, and let's give the ownership to Caddy and my user, so I can easily copy paste via bash or SCP or AirSync to sync the static site from my own workstation. We're going to use the recursive to make it recursive. And let's edit index file. Saving, go to browser, refresh. Of course, it's not going to show because I haven't reloaded Caddy. and I made a small mistake. Let's see the logs. And yep, a small mistake. I'm just showing you this so you'll understand you will make mistakes while setting up servers, while doing things online. This is why it's important to practice, and test environments and test live in the cloud. You'll learn. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to break things. Don't worry. This is important. A step in learning. It's important to do this now where still you're a beginner or while the application is not yet fully launched, instead of just working for months and then trying to launch and having difficulty switching cloud providers. So you may have noticed file server just needs an underline underscore. Let's save it, reload Caddy. And it's this easy if you have a VPS to actually add a DNS domain to it and have a static website. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use something like Hugo to have static websites which you can edit. And I'm going to show you a simple script and how you can push changes from your local device online. We're going to do it manually and then we're going to do it automated. So please subscribe, please like and comment this video as it helps me know what you want and that you found it useful. If you like the content, then go to andrejkalinchev.net and to fullstackdevops.eu, subscribe to my newsletter, and I also have some premium courses and videos which you may be interested in. Until next time, and wishing you well-being. Have a nice day.